everybody. This is Betsy with Let's See Tarot. I wanted to come on and do a reading for you today. Let's do a reading for the collective of, what Spirit wants you to know. How do we take care of ourselves? This is how I kept feeling like I honestly wasn't even going to do a reading today, and then I only do readings when I feel like this pull to do it, and eventually I'll need to just get consistent with it, and I would like to have at least 2 videos a week for you, but anyway, I was going about my day and I just kept hearing, it's time for a reading. And so I sat down with that, and I was like, well, what do you want to talk about, Spirit? And I heard, let's talk to people, let's talk to whoever wants to listen about how we can take care of ourselves during this really hard time. What does Spirit want to know, or want to let us know of how we can protect our energy, and how we can somehow get through this in one piece without becoming resentful, and how do we tip the balance to positivity, to love. So anyway, that's where we're at. I've already shuffled. I'm going to do a little bit more shuffling, and then let's read. Spirit wants to talk to you and help you through what's going on. Whether that be something personally in your life, or society, or the world, or where you live, whatever your situation, it matters. Okay, and so let's see what Spirit has to say. Please do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. That really helps my channel grow. I do offer private readings. In the community tab is my email. Thank you to all who have been reaching out in my email. I love to talk to you. I love getting to know you, and the readings that I've done for people privately have been so special. So thank you for that. So anyway, Spirit's telling me to stop talking. Okay. What does the collective need to know? How do we help them? So the 3 of Swords. There's been a lot of heartbreak. A lot of people feeling like they're maybe torn into multiple torn in multiple places, in your heart. This was the energy that I was picking up on, with Spirit wanting to talk directly to this type of energy. I think a lot of us are in pain right now. We've either been betrayed, or decisions being made have hurt us in some way. So, this is the root of the reading, I think, of what we're going to focus on. The Lovers, the choice. What I'm getting from this, this is a deep bond between people. The choices that we make. What do I bring to the table? What do they bring to the table? And then the choice to be in that relationship. The choice to be the best you can be. And so the heartbreak is coming in when it comes to this important relationship. And this could be with anybody. This could be a family member. This could be a past significant other. This could be a friend. This could be, this could even be political, right? Two of Cups, this was an important relationship. So there's been heartbreak when it comes to your situation. So this is going to be different for everybody because you all have different situations. So take what resonates, leave the rest. But, you know, there's going to be bits and pieces maybe for everybody here. We've all been going through something painful. And whether that be in a relationship with a family member, a friend, or, you know, somebody that's a significant other, or it could be the relationships we have outside of that. It could be, you know, what's going on with our relationship when it comes to society. You know, a lot of us have shut down and been like, you know, I don't want any of that. And I'm, you know, drawing the line in the heart right there on the Three of Swords. So people have been making choices to protect their heart, I think, when it comes to the relationships that we're bringing into our lives. This also could mean that there's people in your life that are offering this energy. The Moon, secrets, trauma. You know, if we don't heal our trauma, it comes out in different ways, and it comes out in our decision making. Who do we bring into our life? Who are we attracting? I think things are being revealed to us that are heartbreaking. Whether that be that person in your life doing that, or, you know, again, society. You know, there's so much going on, and the truth is coming out, and we are able to see things with our own eyes. And some people want to tell us that's not what we saw. We want to, you know, they're gaslighting us. I'm getting upset because that's been happening. And I feel like Spirit's trying to say this, everything is coming to light, and you can live in your truth. But also, if you have trauma in your life, or if you have anything that you haven't healed, you know, and now's a good time to heal that, because there's enough pain going on in the world than us individually hurting each other. And just going about your life as if your actions don't affect others, or even caring about how other people feel. You know, which dog are you going to feed? The wild or the domestic? This looks like the Queen of Cups drowning in her sorrows to me. She looks a lot like the Queen of Cups, who's intuitive and loving and kind, and she probably knows everybody's name in her realm. You know, like she's just so motherly, and you know, it's like the feminine has been pushed down. And I think the Moon is coming out to say, not anymore. Secrets are coming out. Your intuition will never guide you astray. People will, but your intuition would never do that. So keep following your intuition. Look at that Moon. You know, the Moon is about our inner world, our emotions. And so, you know, a lot of what's been happening, I think, has been trying to put us in this energy. Stay down, don't talk, don't listen to what your intuition's telling you. Look over here, not over there, you know. You hold on to your intuition. You hold on to your truth. You hold on to the people that actually matter. Nine of Cups. We're all going to be all right. You know, this is a very beautiful energy. This is wishes granted. This is living in our bliss. I keep hearing we must work on ourselves. We must be able to focus on ourselves so that we can have everything we want. Healing the inner child. And also understanding that if someone else has hurt you, it's because they haven't done this. They haven't done the work to understand that their past traumas, maybe from childhood, maybe from decisions they made up until now, have not been on the up and up. And they're making those decisions because they're running off of toxic behaviors that they're probably not even aware, because they're not aware of themselves. They're not self-reflecting. So unfortunately, you do have to protect yourself from that. I think that's the choice here with the Lovers. You're choosing to be with people in the Two of Cups that actually fill your cup, not bring chaos. When someone brings confusion and chaos, when they should be bringing honesty and love. Knight of Swords. So he's running. He's trying to get on his bike. You know, the Knights are about something coming to us, and that the Swords are about communication and the mind. So there could be somebody that wants to talk to you. It could be that this is somebody that's gonna, you know, that I keep hearing it, you're taking the information and running with it. So the Death card came underneath the Three of Swords. This is about an ending, but also a new beginning. This is about a transformation. Like what didn't work in the past is you're shedding old skin. You know, we just got out of the year of the snake. Well, actually not until April. It's not just because New Year's. We're going into the year of the horse. So it's like you're shedding skin, you know, and you've made the choice, you know, because the Two of Swords, before the Three of Swords, the Two of Swords was a choice. And so the Three of Swords, it's like, because of this heartbreak, you know, it's pushed you into this transformation of your mind and your spirit. I don't think we're all going to be the same after all of this, you know, and that comes through if you're looking at it from a global perspective, from where you live perspective, even down to just your personal relationships. You know, when you experience pain like this, you can either continue to stay in this pain and hurt others because you're not dealing with the trauma. And so every relationship you get into or every situation you get into, you're coming at it from a totally different perspective because it's the unhealed perspective. You know, and that affects who we attract in our lives, who we allow to come in, how we behave. You know, it matters. Healing matters. Underneath the Lovers is the Eight of Swords. This is about feeling victim mentality, feeling stuck. We're never stuck. You know, those ties on her are not even tight. She can get out of that. This is a prison of her own mind. She's just looking at herself in the mirror thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to get out of this? And then, you know, her thoughts, the birds are like messengers, and they're her thoughts. They symbolize her thoughts, like, I don't know how to get out of this. There's always a way. You just make a different decision. You make the decision to either get yourself out of that situation, or you work through it by being honest, by facing yourself in that mirror. And with underneath the Lovers, it's like, who do I want to be in this relationship? What, you know, are my choices for the both of us, or am I just selfish? That's coming through. There's been a lot of selfish behavior I think with how people or society has treated us. And so you're never stuck. You don't have to deal with anybody else. A lot of people think that the healing thing to do is to stick around because you know that that person is, you know, they know, you probably know why they do what they do. You know, you can see through it because you've done the work. But that healing thing is to remove yourself from any situation where you're not being treated accordingly. I used to believe that, you know, if I left, what would that say about me? Like, that would show that other person I don't care. But that was a really unhealed way of looking at it, because I was putting myself in the line of their fire. You know, and allowing their trauma to traumatize me. So the healing thing would have been to make a choice to you know, I'm not stuck, and to really look at myself in that mirror and like, what is this relationship giving to me? Or what is this part, this I just keep feeling like Spirit's trying to tell me that this is more than just the relationships in your life. This is about us understanding that, you know, we have leadership in our world, and then we have all this stuff that's happening to us as a society where, you know, we may not feel like we have any control, but we do. We have a choice of what we're going to watch, what we're going to absorb. You know, Spirit wants us to go within. Always go within. Under the Two of Cups is the world. This is about endings and new beginnings, reaching a goal. This is the end of the tarot. It starts with the Fool and then it ends with the World. You know, and she's in her own world here, and she's got everything she needs. And it's like, that energy is what we need to stick with. Closing out cycles with anybody, you know, because this is also closing out a cycle. Closing out cycles with anything in our lives that isn't bringing this Two of Cups energy, which is reciprocal, loving, kind. You know, what I do matters to the both of us. And vice versa. I'm thinking outside of myself. I'm not selfish. You know, that's how we need to protect ourselves, is if the person in your life is not giving you that, you close out that cycle. That person isn't meant to be in your life. That person is a lesson for you to stand in your strength and close out that cycle. Underneath the Moon is the Ten of Pentacles. So this is about family, abundance. This is, you know, wealth. And you know, 10 is a completion card, but it came under the Moon. So it's like all these things coming to light, you know, are affecting families. It affects people's livelihood. It could be that you're being asked to really look at what you think is your Ten of Pentacles. Is it drowning you, or can you breathe? Nine of Cups underneath that is the Hierophant. This is about connections. This is about contracts, commitments, you know, traditional way of thinking. So it's like, with this underneath the Nine of Cups, what do you want? Look at this staircase. What's going to get you to this enlightenment? Are you watching things that prevent you from even getting on these stairs? Are you distracted? You could be overdoing it. You know, you could be drinking a lot. You know, and other things too. This doesn't have to be just about a wish. Underneath the Knight of Swords, we have the Four of Cups. This is about not feeling of not being chosen. This could be somebody that's just in the energy of apathy. You know, like, is this communication ever going to come in with this Knight of Swords? Are things ever going to get up and get going? Are we going to be able to, like, this is somebody that feels like, you know, they missed an opportunity. Maybe they feel like they're not being chosen. This could be a lot of us right now in life right now. Just, I know I go through this. You know, I don't post for a while because I'm just in this funk, you know, because I'm just like, what is going on with our world? And I run the risk of getting into apathy, you know, where I'm just like, because sometimes that's painful to see what's going on. You know, with that Three of Swords. Underneath all that, go within. You know, this whole reading was about what do we do as a society, or like whatever we're going through, how does Spirit want us to handle it? You go within with the Hermit. You know, he's wise, he understands, like she's, you know, this person is like floating in her own world. It's like, it's about going within, being a hermit, understanding, you know, what is my energy bringing to society? Am I being, am I giving out love? Or am I feeling stuck and a victim? We're never stuck. We always have a choice with the Lovers. And we have the choice to close out cycles of any relationship that isn't serving us. Even if that means you thought it was your Ten of Pentacles, you know, deep down, your intuition is telling you, you know, what you require in this life. You know, what commitments am I really able to commit to? What lights me up? What is my wish? I don't understand this Knight of Swords. Let's clarify that. Hold on. Okay, so communication. It could be communication coming in. It could be, you know, that's fast energy. It could be erratic energy. Somebody's being impulsive. Impulsive thinking, you know, sitting in apathy. And then, you know, doing something impulsive because you're in this energy. Let's see. What is this Knight of Swords, Spirit? Heavy burdens with the Ten of Wands, the Empress, and Temperance. Okay. So that feels to me that this is communication. You know, some of you may get communication from, you know, whatever happened here with the Three of Swords, whatever that ending was. You know, because the Temperance is about bringing balance, patience. This is healing. And then the Empress is receiving and giving energy. It's a beautiful energy. It's, you know, she can manifest. It could be that whoever this is that wants to talk to you has been heavily burdened because they realize that they were dealing with somebody like this. But they were treating them like this, like an option, being used, being a pawn in somebody else's game. That just came out. You know, sometimes I feel like that as a society, you know, with the way things are. I just feel like I'm not playing that game, and I'm not going to be somebody else's pawn, you know, because I try to live in this energy. So, I think this Knight of Swords, Spirit's trying to tell you that you may have people that once they do their healing, they may come back and want to talk. Yeah. Tell me about the moon, Spirit. Knight of Swords, the Hermit. So the Knight of Swords, this is Aquarius, Libra, Gemini energy. You know, he's holding the sword of truth. And then we've got the Hermit again. This is about understanding, you know, there's an understanding going within. You know, maybe this person has been doing the work with the moon, or maybe there's secrets that they want to reach out. This is the Six of Pentacles. This can be about reaching out. This is reciprocal energy, you know. I think this has to do with this Ten of Pentacles. You know, maybe you thought this person was your Ten of Pentacles, but they were living in the moon energy of just living in their trauma, drowning in their sorrows, and that affected, you know, how they treated everybody in their life and how they treated you. So, Spirit's guidance is to go within, understand what you want and need, and don't back down from that. You know, with the Empress, living in love and understanding, you can understand why somebody's doing what they're doing, but you don't have to stick in that energy. You can remove yourself. And sometimes when we remove ourselves from the situation and we remove our energy, it's like that allows the person the space to do the work and to see that they don't want to be that way. They'd like to be more like this, balanced. She manifests. You know, she's pregnant in this picture. She's a creator. You know, she has an open heart. She can give and receive love. A lot of us push love away when we see it, because it feels awkward, because maybe we never experienced it before. But that's part of your moon energy of understanding why you do what you do. And then healing that part of you. Once you understand why you do what you do, the next time the situation comes up, you don't really do the same thing because you learned that lesson. But if we all continue to keep doing what we're doing and it hasn't been working, you know, maybe it's time to try something different. And so I feel like Spirit's talking to me right now, because sometimes I do shut down and I do get upset, and that doesn't benefit me or anybody else. You know, I don't want to live in this energy of ho-hum, like nothing's gonna change. Things are changing, and they will change, and the truth is coming out. And you just have to sit in your honesty of what you're really witnessing, what you're seeing, whether that be a person, what you're seeing on TV, society, all of it. What energy you put yourself in, it matters. If we're all in an energy of this, nothing will change. But if we can get out of that, maybe that's what this is if we can get out of that with the Knight of Swords, like just get out of that. Run away from that type of energy. Lay down your burdens and lean on Spirit. We all need to get into our feminine energy. And you're only going to be comfortable in this energy is if you love yourself. Because somebody that doesn't love themselves is not able to give out, and they certainly aren't able to receive it. So acknowledging when you need to walk away, and acknowledging when you're in a situation where you're starting to feel apathetic, you know, going within and healing that part of you and standing strong. and standing strong. I'm not going to let anybody or their behavior affect how I want my heart to be open. I know I know discernment now. I know how to protect it. You know, so I can keep it open. I don't fear pain, because that passes. Ooh, that's a big one. This is a big message. Let's all get into our Empress energy. Because when we do, as a society, that's how we make a difference. Because if everything is energy, and we're all in this energy, and the more and more people that get into this energy, we're going to tip the balance. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, guys. Have a good day.